All right, I am live right now. Hi, good afternoon, welcome. Hi everybody, how you doing? Hi Tony. Hi Russell Sylvia. Hi Sky Blue Travels. Hello Kenny Timothy. Hi everybody, good afternoon. So my name is Gertrude. I'm an admission officer of Nexi Concept Limited, and you know how this goes every Wednesday by 12 here on our Instagram handle. All right, so we're going to wait for a few people to join in. All right. Okay, but the topic for today is pre-cas interview and how to secure your spot for January 2023. Okay. Hi, Mr. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Ghostmates. Thank you for joining, Chris Donat. Thank you for joining. Hello. Nice to meet you all. Okay, so we'll wait for more people to join so we can continue. Okay. Let's wait for let's say 3 more people, okay, 3 more persons, and we will continue from what we are doing, right? Yes. Hi, hello, Queensley 155. Hello, nice to have you here. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Hi, Samson Annie. Thank you for joining. Hello. Hi guys, how you guys doing? Okay, all right. So hello, Saxime. I hope I'm calling your handle name right. Samsime 28. Thank you for joining. Hello. Okay, so not to keep us waiting, we've had enough already. So let's start up. We'll have other people join us soon. Okay. Hi, Abisoye. How you doing? So now the topic for today is how to prepare for your pre-cas interview and secure a spot for January 2023, and then the relevance of pre-cas interview for your admission process and how to successfully calculate your bank statement. Okay, so now first thing first, what do you even understand by CAS? What's the meaning of CAS? Okay, CAS is confirmation of acceptance for studies. All right, so before you get to this point, you would have put on your admissions already, application into the school already. That's where you submit all your necessary documents. That's where you submit your transcripts, your SOP, which is statement of result, a statement of purpose, where you submit your passport page, documents needed to put on an application in UK to get your spot. All right. So by then, after submitting, you get your offer, and then your TB test is ready. Also, you get that, right? So that is when you now that's when you now come to the stage of the pre-cas interview. All right. So that is not all schools that do a pre-cas interview. Let's have that in our minds too. Not all schools do pre-cas interview. Some give you questionnaires for you to fill. It's a visa questionnaire. Some do just cash shield, all right, and some do the pre-cas interview and also a cash shield. All right. So another thing we need to understand also is you don't need to be scared when it comes to doing the interview. We at Nexi Concept will prep you before the time. Yes, that's what we do. You don't have to be scared of it. I know some people, before we even go into putting an application, they say they don't want to go into schools that do interview. But you don't need to be scared. We are here for you. We are here to cover up everything for you, help you out, to help you through the interview, help you get to know what you should be putting in and what you should be answering when it comes to the questions they'll be asking you for your pre-cas interview. So you're covered up. You're covered already. Next concept is here. Hello, Jumisita. Thank you for joining. Zara Event. Thank you for joining. I hope I'm not murdering people's handle here. Thank you for joining. You're welcome. So we are talking about how to prepare for your pre-cas interview and secure your spot for January 2023 intake, and then the relevance of pre-cas interviews to your admission process and how to calculate your bank statement. Okay, we already know that January is close already, so I hope you understand that by now. People that have put on their applications should be ready by, everything should be ready by now. Okay, so now we already talked about what's the meaning of CAS, which is confirmation of acceptance of for studies. So before we get to this point, all right, before you get to this point, I already said that before you get to the CAS period, you would have put on your application into the school that you've put in for, right? All the documents have been submitted, conditions and non-condition offers have been met. All right, so now it's time for you to go for the interview. Like I said, some schools don't do interviews. Okay, not all schools in UK do interviews. However, the ones that do, it comes in different ways. Is either a questionnaire that you have to fill, just like a question and answer, where they ask you questions and then you fill the answer beneath. And there are some that you just have to fill a CAS shield. All right, and there are some that you have to do the interview and also fill a CAS shield. Okay, so now that we have made ourselves understand what a CAS is, now what is the purpose of a pre-cas? Okay, why do you have to go for a pre-cas? What is the essence of it? Is it necessary, my darling? Yes, it is 100% necessary. Okay, hello Justice Kings, nice to have you. Hey Abimbola, thank you for joining. Musonwulu, hi, I can see you're waving too. Hello. So, okay, we're talking about what's the purpose of a pre-cas interview. Okay, the purpose of going through a pre-cas interview is the aim to find out that the student is genuine intention to study at the university in UK. All right, so the school wants to know if you're a serious student. They want to know what is the purpose you're coming to their school. You have to tell them why you want to come to their school. So, for an instance, you're going for a job interview, all right? They will ask you, what do you want to come and offer us? What do you have for us? What do you want to project for us in the nearest future? So that's what, it's just like that, okay, for a pre-cas. They're asking you, what do you want to offer? Are you genuine for them? Do you have a good intention coming to their school? So that's why they always want to put a pre-cas interview. Okay, so they're asking you what is the importance as your true intentions. Like I said, it is essential to pass the pre-cas interview. Very, very important that you pass. So that's where we Negvicans have come to your aid. Yes, that's what we do. We put you through the steps of how to pass an interview. All right, just like when you give birth, the stage of crawling, walking, and then standing. So that's how it is. We put you through the steps of everything. All right. So we help you go through the questions, help you work on your courage, and then you know exactly what to say when they ask you these questions that come up during your pre-cas interview. All right. So it is necessary and it's very, very important in some schools. It's a way for them to scrutinize who they want and who they don't want. All right. Hello, Dominic 196. Thank you for joining. I'm waving at you back. Hello, how are you? Hi, Pinky baby. Thank you for joining. I'm waving at you back. Okay, so we already now understand what the purpose is. Like I said, it's very important. They just want you to scrutinize what you want to offer, the purpose of you coming to their school, the purpose of you going for that course, the purpose of you choosing that particular course and coming into their school. What's your purpose? All right, so that's why they want to know when you're going for the pre-cas interview. All right, so there are different stages and different questions that they will ask you when you are going for a pre-cas interview. All right, so the first stage is where you tell them about yourself. All right, you introduce yourself in this first stage. You tell them about yourself, what you are doing at the moment, what's your past graduate, what you graduated from when you were for your BSc, what you came out with, country, what are you doing? So that's what they'll be asking you. Just like, okay, my name is Gertrude. I studied so in so school. I came out with this and that. I'm currently working with this and this. I'm going for this course because I believe it to do this and that to me. Okay, that's me introducing myself concerning what I want to say about myself, right? Okay, so the second stage is about the school. This is where the interviewer comes up and tell you, okay, tell me about the school. Tell me about the school that you want to go for, all right? Then you now come like, let me use an example. Okay, why do you want to come to Birmingham City University. All right. So now you start saying, I'm coming to Birmingham City University because of this and this and this. All right. You sell the Birmingham City to them. They already know what the school is all about. Don't get me wrong. Yes, they do. But they want you to show them that you are interested in their school. That this is why you want to come to their school and why you are interested in joining them. All right. Hello, Chichuma. Thank you for joining. I can see you waving too. Okay, so that is it. You tell them why you want to join their school and why you chose that particular school and why you chose that particular country. Why you chose UK. Yes, you have to tell them all that. And they will ask you another question about your course module. Explain your course module to us. Explain your course. Why did you choose that particular course? Okay, I chose data analyst because of this and that. Now explain to me what that course module will do to you, what you will gain going through the course modules. So you tell me what it is, all right? You tell me, okay, the course module, when I went through the course module, I saw that this and this and this will help me get this and this and this, all right? So that's it. You just explain to them what the course module is about and explain to them the courses you'll be taking. Yes, because on the website, definitely in the school website where you get them, you will see them explaining that too also. So it's good you have an insight and an in-depth information about your course modules, all right? So that's where they ask you about that. They'll ask you your mode of assessment. Definitely, they will definitely ask you your mode of assessment. Like, how are they going to assess you? How are you going to be graded? All right, that's when you see examination in person and others. So now the third stage is where they ask you about your travel history. All right, so now they'll ask you, have you been refused visa before? Have your dependent been refused visa before? They will definitely ask you that. So now this is where you come. This is where we come in. We would tell you the best answer to say when it comes to this particular point about the travel history. But if you come to us and if you're with us, you know exactly what we will tell you, all right? So we will not tell you to say the thing that will put you in trouble. But if you're with us, next the concept, of course, we will tell you the best thing to say, all right? So you don't go and say the wrong thing while you are being asked questions like this. Because they will definitely ask you if you've been refused visa and if you're dependent, that's if you're going with a dependent, if your dependent also has been refused visa. But if you're working with us, we will definitely tell you the right thing to say. Yes, because we will definitely put you through everything you have to say when you're going for a pre-cas. We'll prep you before going for an interview. For those that know us already, you know the history already with us. So we will definitely tell you how to go about when you get when you are ready or put in for a pre-cas interview. All right. So the last stage is about your accommodation. This time they'll ask you about your accommodation. Have you gotten a spot? Have you gotten a space to stay when you come into school? If you say yes, they will ask you also the distance from your accommodation to school. You have to know that also. Okay, for example, if I'm staying in Ikeja and I am my workplace is in Oba, they'll definitely ask me what's the distance, all right? And we know the traffic in Lagos, so I'll definitely calculate it. If it's checkable, I'll say okay, it's walkable. If it's something that is I have to drive within 15 minutes, I'm there, I'll say okay, within 15 minutes drive from my location to school. So okay, that's what they will also want to know. They want to be sure you know the distance of your school and everything, all right? Sissy, please, thank you for joining. At Closing Matters, I can see you are here. Thank you for joining. Hello. Thank you for joining. Okay, we're talking about how to prepare for your pre-cas interview and secure your spot for January 2023 intake, and then the relevance of pre-cas interview to your admission process, all right? So we've talked about the process, the purpose of a pre-cas interview, the importance of it. Like I said earlier, they want to know how genuine you are about coming into their school. They want to know what the relevance you're going to have for them. What are the relevant they're going to also have for you? So now you're going to tell them how important it is for you, right? That you come into their school. You tell them what they are going to gain and what you're going to be doing, right? So now after that, they ask you for this. There are different questions they ask you when you're having your pre-cas interview. Questions like, you talk about yourself, right? I already said that earlier. Talk about yourself and everything. You talk about yourself, your past, your what you came out with in your BSc, what course you went for, what you're doing currently. Just introduce yourself. Talk about yourself at that point, and then they come about and ask you about what you know about the school. Tell them about the school. What do you know about the school? They ask you about that. They ask you about your course module. They ask you about your course. What is the course going to do? What's the impact of that course in you? And then you explain to them the modules of the course, right? Okay, so now they ask you also about your accommodation. Please don't forget that. They ask you the distance between your accommodation to your school site. You tell them the distance, okay? So that's it. So another question they will ask you is your future plan. What's your future plan? What do you want to do after studying business analytics, after studying artificial intelligence, after studying project management? So what do you want to do after that? After you've graduated, what's your future plan? They'll ask you that question. Then you tell them, I want to do this and do that when I'm done. I want to do this, impact in this, impact in that when I'm done. Okay, that's what you ask. You put in those questions, right? Okay, I can see your questions coming in. Okay, I'm going to answer them when I am done. Okay, definitely I will answer them. All right, and you can actually send a DM also. All right, thank you. So now they ask you all those questions. Okay, so you should be able to answer them well, because some schools don't give a second chance for you if you don't do well in the first interview. Why some schools give a second chance if you don't do well? All right, so some schools that give a second chance, they might just tell you, okay, you didn't do well in this particular place, give me more insight about this particular place. All right, they'll just tell you where you should be giving them an insight. Okay, that's it. You should just tell them straight. So it's a bit to avoid going through the first and second interview, because I know it's going to be so overwhelming. Why don't you just join us, right? Come to us, Nexi Concept Limited. We're not far from you. We are everywhere. You can reach us at anywhere. You can come to our Instagram and send us a DM. You can send us WhatsApp call. You can give us a call. You can send us WhatsApp messages. We're on Telegram. And our office, yes, you can come to our office in Abuja and here in Lagos. We are here to help you out, okay? So now that you know all the questions that you are supposed to be answering when you're asked in a pre-cas interview, are you ready? Now do not ask you, are you really ready? And I think are you ready after the interview that yes, you definitely want to go to the school? That is when you will know that yes, you will prepare yourself, right? Before the interview, in short, just prepare your mind that you don't want to go through it again for the second time. All right, you don't want to go to the pre-cas interview the second time after you failed the first one. All right, please don't fail. That's why we are telling you to come and meet us to avoid failure. Please come to Nexi Concept and we'll assist you with it to pass and be good at your first intake. All right, so that's basically. There are some schools that do interviews, but they don't that do interview. All right, most of the schools, actually, not all. Let's just have that in mind. Not all schools do pre-cas interview. All right, there's some schools that also do just questionnaires, and there's some schools that do pre-cas, the CAS shield and the interview. All right, not all of them do the same thing. So let's have that in mind, that the schools are not going to do the same thing, just like colors are not the same thing. Yes, there are schools in UK, yes, but their way and mode of acceptance is different. Okay, so now how to calculate a bank statement. You need to know the cost of living, you need to know your tuition fee, and you need to know your tuition deposit. All right, and if you are going with a dependent, you need to know your dependent cost of living also. All right, there's the cost of living for those staying outside London, and then the cost of living for those staying inside London. All right, so for dependent, the cost of living for dependent, for applicants rather, inside London is 12,006, outside London is 9207, and for dependent outside London is 6120, and inside London is 7605. All right, so you have to know that the cost of living for dependent applicants is different. Okay, totally different. We have to have that in our mind too. And then the cost of living in London and cost of living outside London is not the same thing. Okay, so now, and another thing we should all know also is the currency rates. And then we advise our clients to use Rwanda rates. Okay, and is better. I swear it's really better and easy for you to understand if you use Rwanda rates. And then there's something else that we also used to tell our clients to do, because we know that the currency rates is not stable. It changes from one to another. All right, we know how much it is at way back as 2 weeks ago and now what it is right now. Okay, so we advise our students that if you are going to be using Rwanda rate, if you're seeing 600 at the time you want to start your bank statement, we advise that you top it up a little bit. You can top it up to 610. You can top it up to 620. We actually advise 6. In fact, I would say 620, so that in case when you started your bank statement and then it increases later at the process of you running your bank statement, it will not affect you. Okay, it will not affect you. Now, after the 28 days and you print out your proof of funds, you're seeing that after today you're supposed to be having 10 million, and at the time you did it you were supposed to be having 9.6. So where are you going to get the other 400,000 to put on it? So that's why we do advise people. It's better that way. It's your money. It's not ours. Nobody's going to touch it. It's still your money. So now, after if you know your tuition fee and then your tuition deposit. For example, if your tuition fee is 15,000 naira, all right, and then your tuition deposit is 5,000 naira, you take off 5,000 naira from the tuition fee, which means 10,000 naira, right? And then you know your cost of living. If you're inside London, your cost of living is 12,006, and then outside London, the cost of living is 9,207. Then for dependent, the cost of living outside London 620, for us inside London is 7,605. So when you add your own cost of living there, which is what 9,207, I'm just using the one for outside London, which is 9,207, all right, plus the cost of the currency rate, plus your dependent cost of living if you're going with a dependent. If you're not going to dependent, you just have to put just your own cost of living, which is 6,120. That which is 9,207. Sorry, 9,207 for applicants. All right, that's for outside London. So you add that, and then the currency rate at the time you're preparing for your proof of fund. If it's 600, like I said, please push it up a bit, okay, so that we know that yes, you are at the safe point. Okay, I'll give an example, a success story. Okay, we have someone that was trying to put in, or rather he got the admission already, and then it was time for him to do his bank statement, his proof of fund. We actually advised him, I won't mention his name, I don't want someone coming for me. We actually advised him to increase it a bit, increase the current rate at the time a bit, but he was like, no, that's not what I said or I saw in Rwanda. You already said we should use what is in Rwanda, so now Rwanda rate is not what you're giving me. We tried our best to explain to him that you just have to increase it a bit because of this and this. All right, hello Innocent, thank you for joining. I can see you're waving too. Hello, thank you for joining. To everyone joining now, thank you for joining. So we advised him to increase it a bit, but he was like, no, he's not going to increase it. But that's not what we told him. You know, after everything, and it was 28 days already, we noticed that at the time he did it, he was supposed to have let me say 2 million. I'm not saying your tuition fee, your proof of funds supposed to be 2 million, please. I'm just saying for an example. Let me say, for example, what he was supposed to have was 2 million, all right? But at the time he did that, it was supposed to be 1.6, all right? But now because of the currency has gone a bit higher, now there's an addition of 400. It was crazy. That was when he came back and said, if I knew, I would have just listened to you people. Stubbornness no good though. And we were just looking, and he was running helter-skelter. We were also running helter-skelter, because you can't just pay a tuition deposit already and then you have to go through all this. We were not happy about it, because we told him already to increase, but he refused. And then he himself had to start apologizing and asking, what are we going to do about it? Can you assist me with this? Can you assist me with that? We had to do everything we had to do. We had to write to the school to make them understand that at the time he was running the proof of fund, this was the currency rate at that time. But to cut the long story short, we were so glad that it was accepted. You know, it was not easy, but I kid you not, we were all delighted when we heard that it was accepted. He was happy. He could not stop saying thank you so much, thank you. He could not stop saying that, because he already knew that if he had listened to us from the first instance, he would have not gone through all this. He would not be going through all this at all. You get? So that's why we always advise our students to always increase it a bit, because it saves you the stress. It saves you the trouble.